Good afternoon, Flosstube. It's Lori of MischievousStitches. I want to welcome all of you to my channel today. I'm very glad that you stopped by to visit with me. I have several things to share today. I have a couple new patterns and a finish, and just some progress and some stories from the weekend. And I wanted to apologize. I videoed 2 weeks ago, and in that video I share with all of you, I'll see you again next week. And I didn't show up. And then I said, oh, I'm going to share with you a full finish on my Satsuma street ornament. And I didn't. So I apologize. But I do want to share with you what I had this weekend. It is my birthday weekend. And on Friday, I got up and I drove over to Surfside Beach, South Carolina to visit with the girls, Amy and Memory, at Barefoot Needlearts. They had a 24 hours of cross-stitch event running, and it ran through Friday evening at 10 o'clock, and then again through their opening hours on Saturdays through 3 p.m. I had an amazing time. I met some new friends. I stitched all day, giggling, laughing, cutting up, stashing, selling, all the things, and just had an awesome time. So on Saturday, I was gifted with this for my birthday. My birthday was yesterday. A crown. And then I had this beautiful sash. It's my birthday, and I was instructed I had to wear this all day. I wore it most of the day. But it just warmed my heart to be loved on my birthday, and to be with friends on top of it. It was just an amazing day. I do love my family too, and I would have enjoyed myself at home as well, but just to be on my birthday with girls, stitching the day away, doing the things that we love to do, the snacking and the giggling and the laughing, was amazing. So I did pick up a couple of new project bags while I was there. And this is a Barefoot Needlearts bag. Both of them are. This is a breast cancer awareness fabric, and then this is the inside. And I purchased it because while at market a couple of weeks ago in Myrtle Beach, I picked up this pattern, which is Faith, and this is by Barefoot Needlearts. And I believe I shared this with you 2 weeks ago, and I had finished the words minus the highlighted areas of the words, and did a portion of the anchor here, and started some of the pink in the ribbon here. Or maybe it was here. I think it was here. Let me share with you where I'm at. I've got a mess. Apologize in advance for the rustling, because I just kind of slammed everything in my bag when time was over last night. All right, there you go. Now, the pattern calls for sulkies, but when I purchased it, the pattern and the kit, I kitted it up during retreat, excuse me. I didn't have all of the sulky colors because it was very popular that weekend. So I did sub it out for a couple of other, the colors I was missing, I subbed them out. But as you can see, I have made some progress. I did this weekend put in all the highlighting, the lighter pink, as you can see some of it right here. And there's some in each word. I finished that up. And then I've completed this circular portion of the anchor, brought it down to here. And I also started the darker pink of the ribbon behind the anchor, that wraps around the anchor. And so the problem ran into last week when I was stitching it is that my friend Teresa and I decided to sell this piece while we were at the Barefoot retreat 2 weeks ago. And we chose Fisherman's Wharf, which is gray and brown together, for the anchor. And the whole premise was to show that it's been in the salt water, that it's weathered and aged. And that was going to be the color for the anchor, which was one of the missing sulky colors. And then for the, there's also a Someone told me in my last video, because now I remember saying I couldn't remember what the name of the ship's wheel was. But the ship's wheel, the helm, that's not right either. That's a Star Trek term, isn't it? Anyway, we chose this one, which is Wood Trail. And look how close. It's so close to the gray and the brown in the Fisherman's Wharf. So this weekend I took this along with me so I could try to find a different brown that would work well. And I chose this one, which is maple syrup. And it should play well with this color and not wash everything out, but it also will play, it's like a lighter shade of this one that I had. Oh, that's not it. Here it is. It's a lighter shade of that brown. So I think it's going to play very well. And I didn't get any stitches in with this one this weekend, but I did get a good bit of work into it. And I'm probably going to put a few stitches into it here shortly. So let me get that one done. Put away, I mean. And I picked up one, and I can't remember the name of it because I finished it while I was there and passed it along. And this is a pattern that is by Darling and Whimsy. And I learned later on that Darling and Whimsy do a lot of these small animals like this. So I passed my pattern on to someone, and they passed this one on to me. So this is Seahorse. We kind of swapped. So I want to do this one on, I'll probably do it on a remnant piece of fabric that I have here in my home. I would like to do the Seahorse in a blue or a tealy blue, but we'll see. It's really going to depend on what fabric I choose as to what color. But that'll be one of my next ones. But this is the turkey, and this is a ornament size scrap fabric of 32 linen that they had there at the shop. And I picked that up, and several of us started and finished it. Everyone was kind of doing it on different fabrics, different counts, different colors, different thread colors. And so I'll share a picture on my Instagram of the different ones that were just at my table that started this piece. So I haven't ironed it. He's not as presentable, but I did. We were all naming ours, and I named mine Giblet. I'm sorry, Giblet. Somebody kept telling me they call it Giblet. I call it Giblet. I call it Giblet. But this is Giblet, the turkey. And then again, I'll share with you this one. This is the one I swapped out, so I'll start this one soon. It was just a couple of hours. It's not difficult. So these would be perfect for, say, smalls exchanges, seasonal ornament fillers for your dough bowls, that kind of thing. So when the particular stitcher, Julie, swapped with me, she had been collecting them. So she had ladybug, I want to say there was a pig, a ladybug, just different animals. I can't remember them all. There's that. And then the colors that I chose, because I have really enjoyed working on this one and the Faith with sulky threads. Now, I've worked with them before, so I'm not new to them, but I haven't been stitching as much this year, the end of this year. And it just reminded me how much I enjoy working with them. So for the turkey I chose 0621, 1058, and 1035. Those are the colors I chose for the turkey. Let me see if can you see them? So it just made me enjoy them. Now, a lot of people say they're about the same as 2 strands of thread. I think they're more like 1.5 of a DMC thread. This is a 32 count fabric here, and I think the coverage is really nice. I do have to say that with hand-dyed fabrics, when they put it, that it's 32 count, that's usually how it comes to them, which is undyed, that it's 32 count. So when during the dyeing process, oftentimes it shrinks the fabric, so there are more stitches per inch than what they're labeled. And I haven't actually counted this particular one, but I'm saying that to say, if you're using sulky and you're only using one strand, and this is 32, the coverage is just fine on this hand dyed. I'm not sure with 36 whether the coverage would be as well, and whether I would just use one strand or whether it would be too bulky, but I'm thinking it would be fine on 36, but I think it would be too crowded for a 40. So there's that. Just my honest opinion. So let me put this away real quick. And then I bought a fun little, now the project, this pouch does not match the project. So I saw this one and had to get it because it's flamingos with Santa hats. Isn't that the cutest? And then there's some sparkly fabric. Can you see the sparkle? It's in some of these, it's silver. So you have white swirls and silver swirls, but this is the inside fabric, and it's another Barefoot bag. They put their little made, that's what it say, made by love by Barefoot Needlearts. And inside, oh my goodness, I've left it in there. I don't even know what project bag I put it in now. But I did kit up something else. So another friend, my friend Mary, had passed this pattern on to me, and so I kitted that up this weekend. And so I bought all the DMCs, and this is Little House Needleworks Country Christmas. And the fabric that I chose is 28 count Sandy Toes, and this is by Barefoot Needlearts. And I think it's going to work very well. And I guess I'm thinking, oh, this is an ornament, so I'm going to put it in the Christmas bag. I thought I had both of them in here. I will just tell you what I have, and that'll prompt me to come back next week so I can show you my progress. So this week I'm perusing, actually it was Thursday night, Instagram, and I see a new release from Barbara Anna. And it is a Halloween village, and it's called Horrorville. So I immediately purchased the PDF, come in, printed it off because I knew I was leaving for Barefoot. And when I got there on Friday, the first thing I did after saying my hellos was to kit that piece up. So I had the fabric and the threads, and I did share it on Instagram. So I haven't started it. I had planned on starting it yesterday, and time just got away from me. 3 o'clock sneaks up on you when you're having fun. So I plan to start it actually as soon as I finish this video. And the colors are just bright and happy. I think it's just going to be a fun, very fun stitch because it's little tiny motifs all through, whether it be skeleton fish or pumpkins or little witches. It's going to be a fun stitch, and it's going to give me that little sense of accomplishment every time I finish a little piece. So I'm going to start that soon, and I will share it with you next weekend. Now, last weekend, I didn't come by because I was out of town. And then when we got back, it was so late, and I was just tired. My husband and I went to the North Georgia mountains just for a quick overnight stay because it was a holiday. Columbus Day was on Monday, and I had the day off. So we took off and spent a couple of days together, and we stopped by a lot of antique junk shops there on the way back. And I want to share with you one of the things that I found. So one of the antique shops, one of the stalls, they had things, basically they have found creative ways to reuse some of the things that were in their stalls. So of course they had antiques, but they had other things too. So some of it was just paper crafting. And we had a paper crafter that had a vended at the Barefoot Needlearts retreat this year, and she had similar things to this, and it's just, I think they're beautiful. So I picked these up, but the beautiful things that I picked up are these. I think the traditional word for them is hussifs, and to me they're needle books or sewing books. There were two, and I couldn't choose between the two. I really like the colors on one, and the other one is made, looks like an old quilt that may have been tattered or no longer bound in some areas or worn through, and they had just cut it into strips and made this book. So I'm going to share them with you individually, and I'm going to start with the one I like the most. So it's tied here on the side together, and it's just little pieces of ribbon and lace. And you can see here on the back, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different ribbons. And then just to make the closure, there's just a knot sewn into the, made into this ribbon. And then it's sewn into place because you can see the overhang here. And so there's more of the ribbon there. And I'm going to open it up. But you can see everything's just old and discolored. And inside it's all bright and happy. So there's some new things added to it, like a needle threader and some of these counting pins, brightly colored counting pins. But here's an old, not an old, here's a tape measure, measuring tape, but a piece of, looks like lace or something from an old dress that's just sewn as part of the pocket. And then you can see this here. It's like a pleated piece of fabric that has a piece of, I don't know whether this doesn't look like she hand sewn this, but she added just a little beads at the bottom. You flip it up and there's your needles. And it's held, those pleats are held in place by that ribbon. And then I just loosened this, but this was held in place by this counting pin. And there's a yo-yo, which is sewn in as a pocket for the scissors. I mean, I just love everything about it. And the other one, and I'm going to tie it back pretty because it seems wrong not to tie it back and have a nice pretty little bow. Instead of just tie it back untidy, I want to make sure it's pretty. So there's that one. And the other one is this one. And I'm a pink girl. I love the color pink. And so this one really spoke to me too, because it's an old piece of a quilt. And then you have doilies. It looks like a soiled doily, and she may have tea-dyed it. Old clothespin. And you open it up. Oop, those are scissors. Again, you've got a pocket. And then an old, you've got a crochet or needle tatted piece here held on with a button. The threads are color coordinated with it. But it's like it's very... That's a thimble. And then again, just a little piece of something. Can you see the shiny in that? It's just little pieces of this and that brought together as a whole to make these things beautiful. And so here's a pocket with a small hoop, some counting pins. There's some hand embroidery work there. There's a pocket up here. I'm sorry, I'm not holding it too well, with some old thrifted buttons and more lace beside it. My oh my. And that lace is just kind of pinned in place with that counting pin. This looks like a pocket top, but it's not. It's a flat that's buttoned down, kind of like the pants on most women's dressed pants, the pockets. But you get the gist. You can see what I see. I just absolutely love it. And it gives me so many ideas and things I want to do. So right now, it loosely in my mind, after the first of the year, I have plans to get some girlfriends together and do a crafting day, because everybody has things like this. If you're a stitcher, a sewer, a quilter, you have little things like this around, little scraps and things are different. And it could be so much fun to do this. That thimble. And then, of course, you lift this up, lift this over, and then you have pins again. So I just love it. I love it. So I'm hoping to do that, like have a group of girls to the house that are real crafty, that would enjoy something like this. Everybody bring a little bag full of things that we can make them with. Felt and buttons and doilies and wooden clothespin, anything they think that would look great on them, and just spend the day putting one together. That's a good idea, I think. Let me put these scissors back in. And other than that, I just plan on enjoying this week and trying to get in as much stitching as I can. I did miss one thing there. I did get a card in the mail from a sweet friend, and inside was the ornament, the little house ornament I shared with you, but there was also a floss ring with these flamingos on it, which I thought was very sweet. So thank you, my friend. I'm definitely going to use that. I may just hang this patch and that thread ring on my stitch bag. So again, I think I'm going to enjoy this week as best I can and try to get some stitching done. I'm sure my husband will be watching football for the rest of the afternoon into the evening, and I'm going to sit in that living room with him and my sweet little Hank and stitch the evening away. So until next week, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the day and a great coming week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.